Hey Dana, look what I've got on my desk.
Do, 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 do. Hi, everybody. I'm Dana J. Smithers, and I'm with my other wonderful emotion code diva, Helena Jenikin. Helena, I just want to double check we're live and we're panel, we're Brady Bunch, and we're all good. And I think we are. Yeah,
I think
so I was doing a little pre-show, which I do on my own uh, friends page, Dana J. Smithers. And the card that I pulled today for the show as well is the shower of abundance. And I was just telling Helena that. And so she went to her desk and she pulled up her card. So, always on our show, we are all about our intention is having a little education piece. So I'm going to be talking a lot about business abundance today and blocks. And Helena is going to be doing a session on, we had somebody step up, Romy Carlin today. So we'll ask Romy a few questions as well before Helena gets going on her. But we now like to pull an angel card. And I just thought this was so perfect. I pulled it from Doreen Virtue's angel cards. And it's interesting because I used to watch her shows. I don't watch them so much anymore, but she would pull a card and she'd always say, "Oh, you can't make this stuff up," right? And that's exactly how I'm feeling, Helena, with every card that we pulled for the show. It's always perfect. Also, I pull a card when I'm doing emotion code on my clients as well. And some of them have just been so do, like just so perfect for them. So this one says shower of abundance. To heal your financial situation, first give us your worries concerning money. So put those on a silver platter and see that go away. We will guide you in order to show you how to create and accept abundance. As we work together, your financial situation will heal as fast as you'll allow. So I'm going to be talking about allowing. I'm going to be talking about how to attract this as well. But just before we get going, we are going to take a minute to just introduce ourselves. If this is the first time watching, thank you so much for watching. And Helena, why don't you go ahead and tell people about yourself, and then we'll go into the 7 keys for an emotion code session.
excellent. Good morning. I'm Helena Jenikin. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist as well as a certified emotion code practitioner. In my business, I help men and women who are looking to release weight, overcome anxiety, medical or social anxiety, and I'm also known as the StopSmokingLady.com. I help people stop smoking in one hypnosis session. And with all of my hypnotherapy sessions, the emotion code is included. It's so powerful, and I'm so glad to have this tool, and my clients absolutely love it. I'm located on Vancouver Island in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. I see clients online and in my office.
Great. Thanks so much, Helena. And I'm Dana J. Smithers of Empowered Women in Business. I primarily work with women solopreneurs, but my business seems to be opening up a lot with now that I've added the emotion code to it. So I work with people to, if they're starting up or stuck, help them get looking at what do they really want. So I'm going to talk about going through a 3-step process with them. I look at marketing. Where do they need to be? Who's their ideal client? Do they really know who their ideal client is? And what's their message to their client? And so with all of that, as a certified law of attraction trainer as well, I use all the law of attraction tools and tips that I know. I'm also a Discover Your Sacred Gifts guide. So I help people discover what their sacred gifts are so that they can use those gifts. And if they're not sure where they should be going in life, because that happens, right? Life is a journey. Then once we go through the Sacred Gifts program, out of 24 gifts, they're going to have 3 to 5 of them. And those 3 to 5 help them move in a direction where they will be happier and attract more abundance in their life. So, Helena, just before we get started, I see we've got quite a few people watching today. So that's really nice. Some of these people I know and some you do. Now, Chris Kuchna sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but we worked on her last week, and she said things had really shifted. So give us an update as well, Chris. And Susan Darnell, that's a friend of yours, Helena, who I've gotten to know as well,
Yes.
says hi. And Grace Lou is a client of mine. She's bought my 8-week fast track business development program because she's starting up a business. She's a life mastery coach. So she has a program to help people build their dream. So Grace, a big shout out to you as well. I know that, it's tomorrow she's actually going on vacation, so have a great time. And Tracy McCallum says hello. And from London, England, Sylvia Bellini. Good morning.
Good
Or
morning.
good afternoon. I guess it's tea time there. And a big shout out to Natasha Paula Samuel. Always a pleasure. Cloudy and windy Romford. We often get news reports about the weather on that. So Helena, why don't we just go ahead and let's just show people the book that we use, that we've been certified. So you can do your own emotion code sessions on yourself. This is the book you can buy, but Helena and I are both certified emotion code practitioners. So we've gone through a program, a written test, and we've also done practicums with people and animals. So if you have an animal, I've done mainly work with cats and dogs, but I hope to do some work with horses as well. But they do respond very well to the emotion code treatments. So Helena, let's go ahead and talk about the 7 steps. But why am I showing a lemon?
A lemon? Well, Dana, a lemon in our world represents the trapped emotion, the trapped negative emotion. It's about the trapped emotion is energy.
She's sitting up here on my shoulder.
Energy, and it just gets kind of the size of the energy ball that's trapped in your body, your shoulder, your neck, your hip, your stomach, and it may be causing aches and pains. It might also create procrastination or cravings. And today we're going to be talking about abundance and abundance blocks. So the lemon is our symbol for trapped emotions.
Right. And I've also been working with a lot of people with allergies right now. So those allergies, I mean, imagine if you had that lemon energy right in your nose there and in your nasal passages. That makes it really hard for breathing. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do, and we've asked Romy Carlin, we've asked for her permission, Helena. So what does that mean?
Permission is exactly that. She's given us, anyone that we work with gives us their permission for us to work on them. That means that we just don't go around working on strangers without their knowledge. And sometimes it's the parents of minor children that are giving their permission to work on their children, as well as giving permission to work on their animals.
Exactly. And so once we've got that permission, since they're not there often, we're doing our work by phone, or could be Zoom or FaceTime, or sometimes it's even, I've been doing many recently actually just with emails, because the time hasn't worked and I've just been super busy in my business, which is a good thing. So people have emailed me and I've just done it. But what I need to do is become their proxy.
That's right, their proxy. So they've given you permission to tap into their subconscious mind and ask on their behalf yes and no questions.
Right. And so we can also check in to see the severity. Mm-hmm. And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the severity, we're looking for a scale of severity between 1 and 10. We're looking for something above a 5, a 6, preferably around 7, 8, 9, or 10, something that's got some oomph behind it. And what we're going to do is check in with your subconscious mind. So your conscious mind is going to give us an answer. Then we're going to check in with your subconscious mind for that answer, what number it is. And then at the end of the session, we'll ask you to check in and once again and give us a new number. Our goal always is to lower it or even eliminate it or bring it down to a zero.
Right, exactly. So maybe, do you have your little iceberg diagram on the subconscious there?
Dana, you know what? I have it. I don't because I was doing a presentation this weekend
Oh,
where
okay.
we did two presentations on the emotion code at a local health food store. We had over 60 people come out to those two
Wow,
sessions.
fabulous.
And I was talking about the iceberg. And if you can imagine an iceberg, because I'm very good at having people imagine things. If you imagine an iceberg, you know the tip of the iceberg that you can see above the water? Well, that's representative of your conscious mind. It's about 10%, 10% of the entire iceberg because the
Oh
majority
my
of the
goodness.
iceberg is under the water. You can't see it. That is also what we call our subconscious part of the mind. And the subconscious part of the mind is where our emotions lie, our memories, our imagination, our habits, our beliefs, our ethics, our morals.
Hmm.
So with the emotion code, we're tapping into the subconscious part of the mind where the real reason for what
Right,
is happening in your life is lying there, waiting for
right.
us to
And
discover it and change
yeah,
it.
exactly. And the stories that we make up about ourselves, we do that from conception to the age of 6 or 7. And our ego spends the whole life telling us if we've been told we're not worthy, we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, you'll never make any money, you're just like so and so, or you're going to end up in on social welfare or something. Unfortunately, those thoughts become negative emotions because it's always about the feelings. And that's what's below here, below that iceberg that you can't see. So those stories you could still be telling yourselves until you remove them with something like the emotion code. So how do we actually remove them? The next step, I believe, is muscle testing.
Muscle testing. So muscle testing is a technique that we learn as emotion code practitioners, and there's many different kinds. I'm going to demonstrate mine. So muscle testing is, in my case, what I do is I take these two fingers and interlock them. And I have an agreement that when the answer is, when I ask a question, the answer is yes, my fingers lock together. They won't pull apart. And if the answer is no, they just slip apart. And I don't have to pull really hard. It's not about force. It's just
Mhm.
about sensing the lock and the release. So yes and no.
Right. And I know I joke about this, but I have a couple of mothers, they're Jewish mothers who are concerned about their sons getting married. So they always want me to know, will he, and with emotion code, we only get a yes or no answer. So I'm muscle testing like this. So that's a yes and that's a no for me. And so they're asking me things like, do I know what month they'll get married in? Will they find the right person? And it's like, ladies, let's get back to you. Do we need to work on some stress levels there, right? But it's quite funny. I joke with them a lot about that. Yeah. So that's our muscle testing. And what are we muscle testing, Helena?
Well, we're muscle testing we use a chart here, is the emotion code
Mm-hmm.
chart. And the emotion code chart was developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And on here, there's 60 negative emotions. Now, the muscle testing we're going to use is going to very rapidly tell us which particular negative trapped emotion it is that we want to release. And we'll ask questions like, is it in column A or is it in column B? We'll get a yes or no. Is it an odd row or an even row? And then we'll come down to a cell of 5 different emotions. And then we can start asking about those 5 different emotions individually and find out which one it is that we are going to release regarding the issue that we are working on.
Right. And so when we release it, we're using a magnet.
That's right, a magnet. Um, I use these magnets. They're
Oh,
quite powerful.
we have the
They're
same
stone.
ones
They're
now.
yeah. Oh, I have so many
Oh, and
because
so do I, because I want to talk about this one today, which is my $100 bill magnet. I love $100 bills. I have lots of them around me. Not just magnets, but um, yeah. So I use this actually when I'm working on people that have money blocks. or they're stuck, or they don't think they deserve it, or they are success, a failure, they're not sure what they are. So I like to use this one, even though I have these magnets as well. So what are we actually doing? What role do the magnets play, Helena?
Well, magnets are energy. They're pure energy. So what we're doing is when we've identified through muscle testing the particular trapped emotion on the chart, what happens is it comes out of the body, out of the physical system into the energetic body. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a magnet and delete it, cancel it out of the system and release it. So what we do is we do this kind of swipe motion.
Mm-hmm.
And what that is there's in Chinese medicine, there's an energy meridian called the governing meridian, and it starts here underneath the nose and goes all the way down to your tailbone. So what we're doing is swiping that along that energy meridian, because that energy meridian taps into all other energy meridians in the body, and it just goes away.
Exactly. And when we actually do a little bit different, if we're asking someone, does the emotion belong to them, then we'll just do 3 swipes of the magnet. But if it has been inherited, then we actually do 10 swipes of the magnet, and we're releasing that from down the genealogy, wherever it goes, great 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 grandfather, great 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 great, all the way down to the actual person. So just before we talk about the last one, Helene, I just want to give a shout out to Barb Ashcroft is watching, and Barb has already stepped up to be our viewer for next week's show, which is all about creative insecurity. So that's going to be fun. So thanks for that, Barb. Debbie Talbert's watching, and Debbie may, take a look at the posts that other people are making, but absolutely, the subconscious is recording everything from from conception and even preconception.
Yes.
And, Helene and I haven't really gone into any past life things or whatever. Dr. Brad doesn't call it past life. He just says preconception. So even though when we're getting together to do the work, something I always do, and I know Helena does it as well, is we get very centered, we get connected, and we both have a prayer. And I believe it's on one of the other episodes, or check out our YouTube channels and you'll see the Emotion Code Divas shows there. But just talking about, just different ways and different things that go on. Sorry, Sylvia Bellini just distracted me here. Okay. She said she only just, sorry?
And I was just going to say, and Kelly Carson's been watching since the very beginning too. Hi, Kelly.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Oh, and Chris, who we worked on last week, says, hi, Dana. It was brain fog that we worked on last week. We did the whole month of March was Menopause Madness Month, right? So she said, had a real shift of brain fog. It took a couple of days for it to really kick in. So thank you. Yeah, so the last thing, and we're both doing it anyway, Helena.
Let me do it again. Hydrated
Exactly.
practitioner.
Yeah, so that's what we want to make sure we're doing.
And we want to be hydrated because energy is electrical, and electricity and energy move rapidly through water. So to ensure that we're getting the correct muscle testing answers and that we are testable, that we hydrate.
All right, that's excellent. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and do the educational part on business abundance, since I'm the business coach and work a lot with entrepreneurs, and also just delighted that I've helped Helena take her hypnosis business from a hobby to a real business, and it's really starting to thrive and boom. So I'm going to give you lots of different bits of information. So Helena's going to go ahead and work on Romy Carlin with her permission. We have that. And Helena, just before you get started and I talk about attracting more abundance, do you want to talk about the 3 modes that you're going to work with here?
Sure. So as a starting point, regarding any session about abundance, we want to know and measure the abundant mode, the stagnant mode
Mhm.
and the lack mode. Because if we were 100% feeling and believing and knowing that we are abundant, we'd be at 100%. But perhaps we're feeling stagnant, almost paralyzed, or unable to move.
Mm.
And there's also the lack mode. So if we have a lack mentality, the tests I'm going to be doing, the muscle tests I'm going to be doing, will give us those numbers. So my goal is to get to an abundant mode of 100%. Let's see how close we can get there today. And yeah, so I'll be testing Romy's abundant, stagnant, and lack mode percentages.
Okay. And Romy's interest. So Romy, you can let us know, are you currently a professional organizer, or is this something that you want to do? Are you looking at that as a business? So just put a comment in there. Otherwise, Helena's just going to go ahead and work on you, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about the law of attraction and business abundance.
Good. I'm just going to turn my speakers down while I
Okay.
do the work. I'll be looking
All
for Romy's comments.
Okay, all right. So just a little review of the law of attraction, right? So this is law of attraction 101. So everything starts with our words, which leads to our thoughts. And those thoughts are what give us a mood, create a mood, a feeling, or what we call in law of attraction, a vibe. So a vibration, a vibe, and it's either positive or negative. And that's actually what gives us our results in life. So we know how important the mind is. So I'm just going to give a little reminder here that just about this. So scarcity is fear-based. So this is when you've got all these emotions of fear. I can't do it. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Is it safe to be successful? Am I going to be a failure? All these things that go on in the subconscious, right? We talked about that because that's where all the emotions are going. So it's a very fear-based emotion. Scarcity is all about lack. There's not enough. I'll never have enough. But we know that that's not true. The universe is infinitely, infinitely abundant. And abundance is prosperity-based. And the interesting thing about abundance is that abundance is actually a feeling. We may associate abundance with things. We might think it's money. We might think it's gold jewelry. We might think it's got a nice little gold necklace here with a nice in it. We might think that's abundance, but what it is, it's all about how you feel. So how do I feel when I'm wearing this necklace? This is actually a necklace that we had made for my mom, and she's passed on. And it's solid gold, and it's, you know, monetarily it's probably worth something, but I couldn't care less about the money. It's all about the feeling. I feel connected with my mother when I'm wearing this necklace. Abundance. I've got beautiful gold rings, although usually I'm wearing silver, but I have beautiful jewelry that when I put it on, I feel abundant. When I go out for a walk in the garden, and right now the cherry blossoms are out and the buds are just starting to come out in the trees because we're just heading into April here, and I feel so abundant. So that's a feeling that is either positive or negative. And when you start focusing on what you don't have, I don't have this, I don't have that, the law of attraction's job is just to match that vibration. So if that's what you're saying, I don't have enough, well, the law of attraction is just going to make sure you don't have enough. So remember this, it's always how you feel about what you say or think. And if you're using affirmations, I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and try this phrase. I am in the process of attracting more abundance. I am in the process of attracting some ideal clients. I am in the process of creating a life where I can choose the hours that I work. So whatever it is, it's always I'm in the process of. So remember, it's always how you feel about what you say or think. So I'm going to just give you a quick little another law of attraction tool here, and this is called the 3-step deliberate attraction process. So the first thing that you need to do is to identify your desire. And we identify our desires by going through what's called a clarity through contrast worksheet. So we take a look at, on the one side, the contrast. What is it that you don't want? You're going to write that down. You write all of this down first, and I suggest you do pages and pages and pages of it, what you don't want in your business, what you don't want in your life, and then you go through each one step by step, cross it off, and tell the universe what it is you do want. So this is part of a 4-hour home study course that I'm offering right now for $97 as well. So I'll mention that at the end. But with that step, so that helps identify your desire. The next step is to raise your vibration. So raise my vibration. So how to do that? Well, you look for evidence. Who is doing what you want? If you want to have an emotion code business like I have, or a hypnotherapy business that Helena has, then watch our videos, get in the vibe, share it, talk about it. Look at people that are doing what you want to do, and find somebody that can be your avatar or the persona that you want to have. If you like what Helena and I are doing, then watch all our shows, check out our website, look at the programs that we're offering, look at the posts that we do. We're always about inspiration and motivation. So get motivated so that you raise your vibration and know that what you want is possible. And the third thing, and this is the tricky one, is allowing it. And Helena's working on Romy, and Romy mentioned that she's put these things out there, but she has a hard time allowing it. And allowing mainly means remove the doubt. So this is how the law of attraction works in terms of an equation. If you have a strong desire about your business, you want abundance, you want to make it work, and let's say that's a 10, but then you have a lot of doubt. Well, it never worked before. I don't know how I could do it. I'm not good enough. All that stories you're telling yourself. Let's say that's a 10. So you got a 10 minus 10 gives you a 0. You're not going to manifest anything, because remember, this is how it works, right? From your words to results. Now, if you have a strong desire, and let's say you have some doubt, let's say your doubt's about a 7, or let's say you have some doubt that's, around a 7, and you're kind of at about a 3 level. That's kind of stagnant, right? You're neither here nor there. Now, if you have strong desire and no doubts, like you're 100% sure that you can do this, you've identified, you look for the evidence, you know you can do it, maybe you're even working with a business coach like me that's helping you do that, and then you're going to get your result. So that's part of allowing, is removing the doubt that what you want to do is possible. And remember that it's always this. It's always how you feel about what you say or think. So start using that I am in the process of, and where you can start to see things moving in your life. And one other, something else I wanted to share with you. I just wanted to see if Kelly May was on the call today. I don't see her watching. Leslie Marshall, hi from Oregon. And yes, Susan Darnell, I will talk about allowing versus creating. But I just wanted to let you know, there's also, I learned about this is a physical thing that you can do with your body, and it's called the Mortar March. And it's MORTER March. And you can find that on, there's lots of YouTube videos on it. And it's a little bit about actually taking a position with your body. And when I first started, I thought, whoa, this looks a little crazy to me. But I was taking a program with Joseph Gabby. He's a master numerologist and a master healer. And this was part of Joseph's programs that you could or could not do. So I started doing it. And I have to say that in the last 6 months, I have attracted more money and more clients than I did in, say, the previous 6 months for sure, no question. So the mortar march, you can look it up. It's a little bit of a physical thing that you do with your feet and all of that. And you're using the expression, I am thankful and grateful for my perfect financial situation. And that's the one I used. And I did it every day. And as I say, it's just look up YouTube Mortar March and you'll find some examples there, because I actually introduced Helena to that as well. But it works. I'm manifesting. And I know that also Susan Darnell mentioned Psyche. There's lots of different healing methods that you can use, but I'm thankful and grateful for my perfect financial situation. I just started getting more clients and more clients and more clients. And also by using law of attraction, I got very clear on what my desire was. So Helena, I can see you're finished. I'm just going to answer Susan Darnell's question here. She said, what's the difference between allowing versus creating? Well, creating is actually taking images of what you want. So I'm really big on vision boards. I do vision board workshops and all of that. So that's in the process of creating that, right? That's a creating to manifesting, right? I'm putting up pictures there. I may be using allowing, which is allowing, removing the doubt, by making the vision board that I'm doing, by looking for people that have something that I want. Not that I'm jealous of it, but there's evidence that it's possible. So allowing in the law of attraction lingo is removing doubt that it's possible. When you're creating, you're visualizing, you're writing about it, you're blogging about it, you're actually in the process of creating something. And the more you use the law of attraction for that, and it's always about ask, believe, receive. When you put your ask out there, you're asking your universe to help you create. But you can do the allowing by removing the doubt in your mind, by looking for things to remove it, or even working with some emotion code. So Helena, let's hear what you removed for Romy. And Romy, if you're not on the call right now, just go ahead and leave us a message after, and we'll see how you're feeling. But go ahead, Helena, I'm interested.
Yes. So I started off asking about her abundant mode, and I got a 30%. Stagnant was
out of 100.
Yeah, out of 100, and stagnant 60% out of 100.
So she's
and
just
lack, kind of like stuck, and lack was 10%. So when I finished the emotion code sessions, we are up to 98% abundant mode and
nice.
2% lack. And when I asked if we were done, and it said yes. And so what I'm suspecting is that there's just a little bit of processing that needs to happen. So that's just a little bit of time for the conscious and the subconscious mind to just combine and work together and release and bring that up to 100%, because that was my intention, was to release trapped emotions so that Romy's abundant mode was up to 100%. So I asked the following questions. Do I believe I can be a professional, my business can be a professional organizer? Is it okay for me to be a professional organizer as a business? And is it safe for me to be a professional organizer as a business? And it said it was 100% okay for me to be a professional organizer as my business, but it was only 30% safe for me to be a professional organizer as a business. And the belief was down around 40%. So what I found really interesting was when I worked on safe, there was only 2 trapped emotions, and it was taken for granted and shock. And once I released those 2, it was just like, And then I tested again, and we were at 100% right away. And then with the belief, it took a little bit more. It took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different beliefs being released. But the 4th one was hopelessness. And when I released hopelessness, I just personally, because I'm tapped into her subconscious mind, I just kind of went, whoa, and just settled down into it and just felt this incredible release. And then the last one was love unreceived was released. Boom. We were at 100% belief that Romy, can be a professional organizer and do it as a business. So, and I made sure that I became Romy or I became Helena again. So I'm Helena.
That's great. That's fabulous. So Romy, let us know in the comments. And also just prior to what I'm doing now, I used to be an interior decorator, and in the home staging business, I had a home staging school. So often professional organizers would take my home staging course. But in Canada, you can just Google, there's Professional Organizers of Canada, POC. And in the US, I forget what it's called, but I think Romy's in Canada. But yeah, just check out the organization, see what they're doing. Are they hosting any meetups? Like, what's going on? Remember what I said is you've got to, raise your vibration here, and that's, look for the evidence. Where are people doing what you want to do? And start following some of those people. I mean, social media is fabulous for that. So if there's something you want to do, find somebody who's doing it and find out how they're doing it, is what we're saying. So thanks so much, Helena, for that. So next week it's episode 13, and as I said, Barb Ashcroft has stepped up. So we're going to be working on creative insecurity blocks. So that's where people get stagnant with things. Right. So Helena, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, sometimes when I need to write a letter or write a sales offer for a presentation, and it takes me 2 weeks. I know I've got some creative insecurity.
And we're doing procrastination as well. So this all of April is about business blocks. So Helena, how can people reach you?
People can reach me through my website, which is flourishhypnosis.com. I have a page dedicated to the emotion code, which is /emotion-code. I have a couple of videos up there explaining the emotion code process and what to do before an emotion code session, and lots of other great information on that page.
That's great. Thanks. And thanks, Helena. We so enjoy doing these shows. So if you like us, please share. And we're here every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. And as I mentioned, I do have an offer going on for only $97. You can go to Empowered Women in Business /programs and /business-abundance. And you'll get a 30-page workbook, because one of my sacred gifts is teaching. So it's impossible for me not to be, teaching. There's exercises in it. So you're going to get the workbook, but also it's 4 one-hour videos. And how I did it is I used a program called Google Hangouts, and I actually had 5 or 6 women entrepreneurs, Helena, doing it with me. So we go through the whole program, and you're going to hear about their progress and their questions, because you probably have something that's very similar. And so you can get that for only $97 on my website. If you're looking for an emotion code session with me, empoweredwomeninbusiness.com /emotion-code. Helena,
yes,
it's a pleasure. It's always fun. We have a little bit of fun before we actually get the show being live. And I apologize for any distortion of the videos or whatever. It's we're still working on it. This one looks tiny little bit of distortion in it. So I'm just going to have to check with Blue Jeans again and figure out what's going on there. But thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Have yourselves an awesome day, and shower yourself with abundance. Look for it. Find out where it is, because it's everywhere. So that's it for now. So I'm going to say goodbye. So we'll say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.